Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and my fellow toaster strudels. This is your host of the most, A.K.A. also known as Nelson. And welcome back to the channel. I do appreciate you guys stopping by. Okay. And share a beautiful comment if you don't mind before you leave this son of a bitch. Alright? I know it's been cool, man, y'all. But again, I ain't here for the lollygagging. I'm gonna go ahead and get into this, y'all. But real quick, y'all. If you didn't know, your boy does stream. I'm going to leave my schedule down on Twitter, in my Twitch, down in the description box down below if you care to follow it. Okay, but that's at your own discretion, but we're not here for all that. Real quick, I just want to get this out of my chest, because I just finished doing one of my streams, right? And it was on KRS-One doing an interview, and he said something to me that that made me think about something that I've been thinking about for a while. And it's like the concept of, say, when you think about, is the glass half full or is it half empty? And technically, I think most people would agree that technically it's both. It's half empty, but it's also half full. So both these opposing truths can coexist with each other. But then I also thought to myself, something kind of sparked in my mind. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, you know what? Let's take that a step further. So, assisting me today for this quick video, y'all. Trust me, hopefully I'm not going to go past 5 minutes. Too much. Oh, let me get my disclaimers out the way. First of all, y'all, damn. Whew, sorry, y'all. I had chipped the one about the edge of the tip of my finger, if y'all can see it. Like, right there. A few weeks ago, while I was grating some cheese, so I got to be careful when I'm grabbing shit. It's getting a little better, but I probably need to put some shit on. Anyhow, y'all. Let me get my disclaimers out the way. First of all, y'all, stay hydrated. Second of all, please take what I say with a grain of salt, because at the end of the day, y'all, hey, I'm not always going to be in the right, but surely I'm not always going to be wrong. If I got to extend that mercy, grace, and understanding onto myself and onto y'all, vice versa, right? And then, the disclaimer is, again, let's try to be objective first and subjective second, and the best times we can be helped. And I want y'all to keep that one in mind very much by the end of this vid. But anyhow, y'all, as you can see this water bottle, right? If I ask you the question, what's in this water bottle right now, objectively speaking, you would tell me it's water, right? And I would say, you're correct. There is water. If I asked you, what is on top of the water? You would say, well, there's nothing besides the tip of the water bottle cap. And I would say, objectively speaking, you are correct. But if I asked you, subjectively speaking, what's in here, you would have to think to yourself, well, I guess a substance. Like, again, you may not fully understand what I'm asking you from a subjective lens, what's in here, right? You would say, well, a liquid that can also turn to a solid, that can also turn to a gas, an element, H2O, oxygen. But here's the thing. You're still looking at those things from an objective lens, which is I don't discourage. But again, y'all, the point what I'm asking y'all this is because, I'm just putting this out for a second, is because when I tell you guys my third disclaimer all the time, recently I've thought about it a little bit more, especially when I've gone through interviews and lectures of KRS-One on my streams. I decided that what I want to make sure is understood, y'all, when I say let's be objective first and subjective second at the best of times if we can be helped, I want to kind of like get more clarification as to what the fuck does that mean. It means that when we're think about like imagine in your mind, use your imagination for a second. Imagine there's a scale, and your objective perception of reality is on the left. Your objective perception of reality and your subjective perception of reality is on the right. So left right here, right here. And the ideal is you want to make sure they're weighed as close as possible to a balance. Because what I think what fucks up a lot of times is that we have yet to condition ourselves time and time again to want to find a balance. Because sometimes, y'all, people who are very objective may find themselves where they weigh it so much that their subjective is so high it has so much less value. And they think to themselves, well, this to me makes the most sense than this, so I would rather this way have more weight to it than this, and they miss the entire point. Same as vice versa. If your objective lens, right, in the way that it scales is much lighter than your subjective, or excuse me, if it's as less, if the weight is less than your subjective, it's obviously going to tip over like this way. Or let's say if it's much more for your subjective lens to weigh much more than your objective, again, you're not balancing yourself out in your perception of reality, meaning you are subjecting yourself to extremes that you're not supposed to stay forever. Now, in certain cases, it does make sense for this to outweigh this. There are times where you need this to outweigh this, but that's not the case all the time. That's not supposed to be the part of your norm. These are the unique circumstances and cases that these occur and they make sense. But these are not supposed to be like this day in and day out, day in and day out. They're technically supposed to be more like this. You see, one can weigh a little bit more than the other, can weigh a little less than the other, but they're not veering into the extreme factor right here, okay? So now, I'm gonna ask again, y'all. Objectively speaking, I'm gonna ask you the question one more time. What's in this water bottle? You would say water, and you are correct. But subjectively speaking, if I ask you the question again, from your subjective lens, what is this? What would you tell me? Really think about that in your mind. Now, I'll tell you what I see. I see a portion of the known universe within, actually, a portion of the known and unknown universe within this bottle. Now, stick with me, y'all, stick with me. If I take the top off, objectively, if I ask you again, what's in this bottle? You would say, again, there's water. And now you would think, because the top's off, you would think, okay, there's oxygen in there, so obviously there's oxygen in it, right? And you wouldn't be wrong. But subjectively speaking, if I asked you what's in the bottle of water, right? Excuse me, what's in the bottle right now? And if you're clicking now, if you're clicking, you're putting the dots together, connecting the dots. That's what I'm gonna say. Then you probably are starting to reach the idea of what I'm getting at. Is that now, instead of this bottle holding a portion of the known and unknown universe, now it holds the entirety of the universe right now. Right now, it's holding an entire universe in here, right in this moment. If I put a cap on it, now it's holding a certain portion of the universe. Even now, if I asked you objectively, what's in the palm of my hand? You would say nothing. And you wouldn't necessarily be wrong. But let's go a little step further and say, subjectively speaking, there is, well, actually, to correct myself here, technically, y'all, I would say, objectively speaking, if you want to go down that road, technically, y'all, there's like probably millions and millions of different organisms that literally probably live on the palm of my hand. I'm holding them literally right now, if you want to go there. But subjectively speaking, I temper that and I say, technically, right now, I'm holding the entirety of the universe in the palm of my hand, right as we're speaking, or as I'm speaking. Right now. And even if I close it, I'm still holding the universe in the palm of my hand. I'm just holding a certain portion. But when I let go, it's not that. When I let go, that portion dissipates. It becomes more when I let go. Think about that for a second. Right now, I'm going to use another analogy. Right now, if I told y'all I have an invisible elephant the size of a penny in the palm of my hand, objectively, and you looked at me and said, no, you don't. Objectively, you are right. But subjectively speaking, can you prove me wrong? Who is to say there's not one right in the palm of my hand as I'm speaking to you? You can't see it. It's small already. How can you tell me for a fact it's not right there? And I'm not trying to fool nobody. I'm not trying to punk y'all. I want y'all to just think about that for a minute. Who is to say that it's not right there in the palm of my hand? Better yet, who is to say that God isn't in the palm of my hand right now? Look at your asses. Who say God ain't in the palm of my hand right now? Can you prove to me for a fact he's not in my hand, or they're not in my hand, or she's not in my hand? Can you prove to me without a shadow of a doubt they're not in the palm of my hand right now? Can you? And it's not a trick question, but think about it. See, right now you're in your mind. Again, utilize the visual scaling that I gave y'all. Think about this. Again, your objective perception of reality and your subjective perception of reality, right now you're trying to weigh them to where, ideally, as I'm invoking within you guys to try to balance it well enough. It's okay if this is a little bit like this, or it's a little bit like this, or maybe a little bit like this. But when I'm trying to warn y'all, and again, there's a bit of an exercise. I don't want to say experiment, but this exercise I'm trying to invoke y'all to do is don't do this. Don't do this. And here's the thing. If you find yourself already here, but let's say you're making an inch, going this way and an inch down, that's progress. If it goes down, let's say a centimeter, it goes back down, a centimeter up, that's okay. There's a little bit of a setback. But the more you're gradually getting yourself to where the norm is, it's like this. That's the ideal goal. The norm you don't want, well, some people thrive off of you being like this. But personally, in your own life, you want it to be like this. Because technically, right here, they're balancing out each other. It may not be at a fixed point for all time, which is not a bad thing. But they're not veering themselves off in the stream left and right, crazy as hell. But I just want y'all to take that exercise and practice with it for a good 10 day. I'll put it like this. Take 10 day, not days necessarily, but take 10 minutes out your day and contemplate that for a minute. Just hold your palm out and just contemplate any and everything that could be in the palm of your hand right now. Just imagine. Think about how it would make sense. Because again, literally the palm in the palm of my hand right now, y'all, I hold the entire universe right now. You hold the entire universe in you. In fact, think about it like this. And this is going to be the final analogy I'm going to give y'all today. But imagine every time that you speak, or every time you are expressing yourself into the world, you are literally taking on and off, on and off, on and off the top of the water bottle. The water bottle is you. The substance that's within the water bottle, you call that whatever you want to call it. But remember what I said earlier, y'all. Objectively speaking, we know what this is. But subjectively speaking, we have to look beyond it and say, technically, there's a portion of the universe right in this bottle right now. If I open it, it's going in. And it's going out. In and out. In and out. So imagine every time that you speak, or every time you're expressing yourself out into the world, you're opening yourself up to take more or less the universe that already resides within you. Just think about that for a minute. And maybe it kind of makes you want to move a little differently, for better or for worse. But I just want to get that little thought, out there into the universe. No pun intended, y'all. And do what you will with it. But that's all I just want to get off my chest, y'all, while it's fresh on my mind. While I still have my lightning rod planted in the ground. That's a little new saying I'm gonna share with y'all from the stream, a little some. But anyhow, y'all, I'm finna go ahead, get my pee, put it in the toilet real quick, y'all. Woo! Been home that son bitch. And y'all better stay hydrated. God damn it. But just to let y'all know, well, anyhow, now let me say, I'll say that for later. Everything you need to know about finding me other places in the description box down below. I'll hopefully catch y'all come tomorrow, Tuesday at 8. Yeah, I'll say 8 a.m. in the morning. I have a special thing I'm doing for my Twitch if you guys want to tune in. But anyhow, y'all, I'll catch y'all later. Peace out, down. I love y'all. Bye! Oh, and forehead kisses, of course.